Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bunnysays. We're back for another episode of Sherlock Holmes, the Testament of Sherlock Holmes. Now, we're just continuing straight where we left off. The guards said to go to the visitors' corridor, the visitors' hall, and see if we're looking for Sullivan, to see O'Sullivan or Sullivan.
Locked.
They should take their keys. They had keys.
It doesn't work.
Why not?
Useless. This door is blocked by the timer, but not the one below. Give me the keys, quickly.
What? That's the Hans. No, don't give him the keys.
I've got the keys, Doctor. Thank you.
Follow me, Watson. We must repair the alarm. Finally. There you are, Holmes.
The man did not sound like O'Sullivan. Okay, what's he saying? I cannot talk to. Okay.
Follow me, Watson. We must repair the alarm.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to turn on the system. Watson, you make sure of the contact.
I hope that this isn't dangerous.
What am I doing? What is... Okay. Oh. What do I do here? Oh, okay. If I press the mouse button, I go up. Okay. Okay. Why is it not moving upwards? Oh, okay, alright. Okay, I see. It's like bad Frogger. Okay. Okay. What am I doing here? Oh. Okay. Oh, I can't go that way because okay. Can I go around? Or, yeah, okay. Here we go. We start from this end. I assume I'm trying to get into the middle here, right? I mean... Ah. Okay, let me... There we go.
It works.
Perfect.
It's open.
Yeah.
Let's go down.
Be careful. From what your colleague said, the flints are out.
We are trained for this sort of situation. And we're armed.
Come and help us, Watson.
Okay.
Everything is back to normal. Thank you for your help, gentlemen.
It was a pleasure.
But where is O'Sullivan? He's no longer here. He must have gone out through the visitor's entrance.
Yes, and he must be pleased to have gotten out of the basement.
Good. We must now check all the cells. It's the procedure in case of an alarm.
We'll come and help you.
his-
You are evidently fond of wasting time, my dear fellow. Rejoin me at the reception when you've finished.
Wasting time? Obviously... Yeah, yeah, apparently, aren't very nice to the fronts there. A few beatings over the head, I guess, did it. Okay, that's...
The grate is open. This is alarming.
He's fine where he is, under the cover, still.
How can he sleep with all this noise?
I'll admit it's not normal. Perhaps the smoke has poisoned him. I had better take a look.
Be careful, Doctor. He is dangerous.
It's obviously that's not him. That's O'Sullivan. He switched places with him.
O'Sullivan!
It's impossible. He was with us only a few moments ago. Or else...
Or else it wasn't O'Sullivan.
My God, he's escaped. The rat killer has escaped.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so I guess we're just leaving O'Sullivan there, huh? Okay. I'm having a nap, or, you know, he could be mortally wounded there, and over here. Okay, let's get the Sherlock Holmes, please. Where is he? There he is. Sherlock.
Ah, Holmes, there you are. Hans has escaped. I fear that this inquiry is a bitter defeat for us.
Not at all, my dear fellow. Quite the contrary. Follow me.
I thought he seemed a little eager to just ignore.
Why the devil have you brought me behind the prison?
We have an appointment, Watson.
We do.
What should we do next, Holmes? What should we do next, Holmes?
He said, follow me. I thought we would be controlling Holmes.
Look who is waiting for us.
Hans?
Shieldman! I'll go back and alert the guards.
Calm down. He's harmless.
It must have been a note.
But what is he doing here? Why hasn't he run away?
Because I asked him not to.
Are you telling me that you helped him to escape?
Quite so, as he wouldn't have been able to do so alone.
But how? And why? He's a dangerous madman. Holmes, you've made me an accomplice in this escape. You owe me some explanation.
And you will have them. But my priority for the moment is to remove our new friend to a safe place. I won't be long, but I must go alone. I'll rejoin you later. Just give me your next destination.
Very well. I suppose you know what you're doing.
How could you doubt it? Here, take the notes. They will help you when you write up the account of our visit to Westgate. So, where do I find you?
What was Kensington? No, I guess I'll go to Whitechapel.
The next step of our investigation should take place in the Whitechapel area.
Good. Go then, and I'll rejoin you there.
Okay. Let's see. Escape from Westgate Prison. Holmes's note regarding the way that he helped Hans Shieldman to escape from prison are so extraordinary that I feel it would be better to transcribe word for word the conversation that we had afterwards regarding this matter. I felt the impatience in my friend's look. However, he delayed relaying me the details of his incredible achievement. He began by telling me about Hans Shieldman's fountain pen. This is what he said. The key to the escape was actually Hans Shieldman's fountain pen. I discovered a note inside Shieldman's locker. I can quote it to you from memory. Whoever is smart enough to open this case should know that a couple of drops of my masterpiece are mixed together with the ink inside this pen's reservoir. If you are reading this note, it means that I am in a tight spot. So understand that my special ink will temporarily destroy the will of anyone it touches. Really? Therefore, you have a few precious seconds during which you can shape the subject's will. If you recognize my genius, use this knowledge to get me out of the embarrassing situation that I am undoubtedly in. Shieldman had left this instrument for his future escape inside a case, secured by a devious combination. That way he could ensure that none of the prison staff would find it, other than a well-informed friend. Understanding this, I decided to play along with him, but with a double game of my own. I would help him to escape, but I would also keep him under control by using his own creation on him. I allowed Shieldman to commence the game by giving him his pen, and then I started to advance my pawns. My first move was to persuade the director that it was necessary to search the cell. I therefore passed the ball into Shieldman's court by giving him the opportunity with one James. He did not waste it. He coated the bars of his cell with the poisoned ink, and one James, whose hands were contaminated, was under his control for a few seconds. He discreetly and quite simply ordered James to give him the keys. The ball was then back in my court. Now I had to find a way of neutralizing Warden O'Sullivan, who was to be the basement guard, as we discovered when we found Miss Patterson's duty sheet. I must admit that the young warden helped me enormously by asking me to sign the prison's visitor's book. Absorbed in the tale, I went over the chronology of the events in my mind. I remarked that Holmes had already signed the visitor's book before giving Shieldman his pen. Yes, he replied in the most annoyed tone. Exactly, I anticipated it. And it was because of that I managed to get a step ahead of my game in my game with Shieldman. I was leading a race, and all the while he believed it to be the other way around. Shieldman did not suspect that I had already used his poison, and thought that O'Sullivan's being asleep was a godsend. He therefore was not suspicious about the letter of reference that he found inside the woman's pocket. Holmes then returned to the point at which he had broken from his tale, to point out to me the lack of pertinence to my remark. And what? There's a colon. Is there more? Okay. Oh, here we go. But do not put the copy for the... Is it? Okay, but do not put the copy for the... Oh, continued. Okay, here we go. But do not put the cart before the horse, Watson. Do let me continue. So by merely touching the fresh ink upon the page of the visitor's book, O'Sullivan was under my control. I suggested a state of advanced drowsiness, but ordered him not to do anything immediately. Just sufficient for him to be unable to resist a siesta during his guard duty. Later, after the changing of the guard, Shieldman used his keys to let himself out of his cell. He hit the sleeping O'Sullivan over the head and exchanged his prison uniform from the warden's. Then he created a smokescreen by using the ingredients that I had given to him: sugar from Miss Patterson's tea tray, brightens bicarbonate of soda, potassium nitrate from the guard's room, and sulfur from a few matches. He used the keys again to free the Flint brothers. The two ruffians leapt at each other's throats and made the very dickens of a noise. He had the diversion he needed to leave the high security area, and that is the moment where you entered the game, Watson. Thinking that you were helping O'Sullivan, you allowed Hans Shieldman to open the corridor next his bars by throwing him the keys. On my side, I opened the second lot by turning the alarm on again. Oh. In light of Holmes's explanation, I began to see my actions during this episode from quite another angle. I was troubled by the way that he had used me without my having any idea at the time of the duplicity of my actions. I interrupted his monologue to refer to the guards who had not realized what was happening, and who were occupied with restraining the Flint brothers. Holmes continued, Exactly. So there was now only one obstacle in front of Shieldman, Warden Brighton on the reception desk at the front of the building. I interrupted him again. But it was the director who summoned him so insistently, Holmes. You won't have me believe that he was an accomplice in this escape. Of course not. I provoked the director's rage towards Brighton. Oh, he told on him. Too impatient, I could not stop myself from asking how. I discovered that Jenny Patterson and Brighton were lovers. I also knew that the director did not have any idea about their affair, and that he would surely fall into a foul rage if he found out. I asked him if that was also the reason why Miss Patterson had been summoned. Yes, she knew that I had opened her locket to find the guard duty list, and so she knew that I was aware of her affair with Brighton. She wanted to make sure that I would not say anything. I pointed out that it had been rather unfeeling on his part to have told the director everything, reminding him of his promise to the young woman. He denied it in a somewhat hypocritical manner. I did not say anything. I simply left the lovers' letters inside the urgent correspondence box in the secretary's office, knowing that they would be delivered to him a few minutes later, thereby provoking his anger. Oh, that's mean. The director shouted at Brighton, who rushed off to the secretary's office. Shieldman now had nothing to stand between him and the front door. Another question leapt into my mind, and not the least important one. Why did he not simply run away once he was outside? Why did he wait? I was not disappointed by my friend's answer. It is evident, my dear Watson, if he did not run away, then was only thanks to that aforementioned step ahead of which I told you. It gave me enough time to write this letter of recommendation for O'Sullivan with the poisoned pen. It was in the pocket of the uniform, and Shieldman could not resist reading it when he found it. But what was written in that letter? Not very much, just, Congratulations, your escape. Wait for me here. What? Really? He didn't even give him a real letter of recommendation? Okay. just congratulations, your escape. Wait for me here. I gave to them. Okay, I gave to them, and that is how the first and only escape from the most inviolable prison in the kingdom came to pass. A scenario which, without doubt, will prove to be the focus of police college studies for a long time to come, is one of the most extraordinary escapes in the history of modern prison. Oh, that's so mean. Now the warden's gonna get, the main guy's gonna get in trouble. The other guy has been found out that he's in love with the girl. Old Sullivan got smashed in the back of the head, and the other guys had to beat up the Flint brothers. Beat up the Flint brothers. That's like very mean just to get him. That is like sort of nasty. That's sort of very uncaring for everyone else other than themselves. I'm gonna say that's yeah, well, it is. What's going on here? We now Whitechapel.
Here we are in the heart of Whitechapel. Keep an eye on your wallet, Holmes. This area is the highest for pickpockets in all of the kingdom.
Don't worry about my wallet, Watson. It would be easier to move Big Ben than to steal from me.
Or to borrow a shilling from you.
Amusing, Watson. Really very amusing. Can we move on to more serious matters?
I'm listening, Holmes.
I was going to say the reason why you can't steal from him is because he never has money that makes Watson pay for everything. Okay, what do we have? W. Hindley Sack Manufacturer. Well, that reminds me, I did watch I was watching the Jerry and Brett series. I was watching some of the episodes from that show. It was PBS's Mystery Theater, not the Masterpiece Theater. It's like, they call it Mystery. That's what it was on. Because I ended up looking it up in Wikipedia.
What do you think, Holmes?
Careful of these gangs. But it's funny because I was watching an episode that I remembered. What's this on the ground? Can I pick it up? No. Are you supposed to come this way at all? Or... I was watching an episode called what's that? Bucks Row.
Bucks Row, where Polly Nichols met her death under the knife of the Ripper.
Oh, really? Okay. Now, I know that Whitechapel at the time was supposed to be one of the more rather horrible places to go to. What's
Bucks Row, where Polly Nichols met her death under the knife of the Ripper.
Okay, then we got the place called Rat Hole. Very nice. But I was watching an episode called, it's in Season 7, it's the second episode. Season 7, Episode 2, called The Dying Detective. And so I was looking at it and going, wait a minute, where are we actually supposed to go? Okay, I guess we're just walking around. But it was, I was watching it. Now it's an episode I liked. I liked it a lot. I remember watching it before and liking it a lot. But I was watching it again, and I was thinking to myself, like, wow, this doesn't seem like a Sherlock Holmes story. It seems like really unusual. Well, not that unusual, but if you know the stories, you sort of get a feel for it a little bit. So I was watching it, and after I watched it, I thought, wow, that's really strange. So I went and looked it up, and I couldn't find that story at all in the Sherlock Holmes story. So I was looking in the books. I was like, I was right. I couldn't find that story. Apparently, isn't in any of the Sherlock Holmes stories. I guess they wrote it for. Okay, the woman are running. Okay. I guess apparently
Nothing of interest here.
Wow. Okay. Either they... what's this guy
You
got
ain't
to
from
say?
around here. You shouldn't stay here. It ain't healthy.
Okay. Apparently, I guess they made it up for the TV series. Because I could not find it at all. And I was. What's going on here? Workers needed. I guess people standing in line for work. But it was. I could tell it was unusual because it was a straightforward story. Very, very straightforward. It was, I'll tell you real quick, it was this guy, he's this broker or something, and he wants to quit his job as a broker. He's wealthy from it, not too wealthy, but he's very well off. And he wants to quit and become a poet, by God, a poet. So, the people are sort of shocked. What's this? Burner Street.
Burner Street.
His wife is sort of has come on Sherlock Holmes saying that the cousin has been living with him for a few weeks, for a few weeks, and she's saying that her husband now has been frequenting the opium dens and the husband is saying that it allows him to open his consciousness, by taking opium for his poetry. Now he wants to quit his job and become a poet. So, okay, what's this? This Holmes no Chinese?
This sign would appear to be that of an establishment not fit for honest folk.
See, this is exactly what I was talking about. There's supposed to be one of
Burner
the opium
Street.
dens. Now, the guy there's supposedly a disease going around. Now, the cousin that is living with him, the disease is being transmitted in the opium areas, in the horrible areas like this place would be like Whitechapel, particularly the opium dens and stuff. So, the cousin happens to be the foremost authority on the disease. It's a tropical disease or something from the jungle or something that's been going around in the opium areas. So, suddenly the guy
Here's
catches...
the public dispensary that we're looking for.
The guy catches the disease at one of the opium dens. He's only been going there a little bit. He's been becoming more and more... okay, Watson, stop pushing. He's becoming more and more...
What should we do next, Holmes?
...addicted to the opium. He's taken it a few times and he's become basically addicted. And suddenly he catches a disease and dies. Now, in the will, now they live in a huge manor house. It's like, I'm talking like, it's like a 15-room manor house or something, like, with a huge outside area. Apparently, in the will, there is Goddess Truth inside the dispensary now, I guess. So the cousin that supposedly has been left the manor house, and he immediately turns around and kicks out the wife. Now the wife has been left a modest sum of money for her for the rest of her life, a stipend that will allow her to live comfortably or modestly for the rest of her life. But she was, of course, saying that the cousin has been instigating her husband to go to the places and trying to get him, get him to die so he could get the house, basically, and the money and the manor and stuff. So Sherlock Holmes, in a bizarre, I thought was sort of bizarre, confronts the guy and starts becomes very angry. He starts telling the guy he's going to ruin him for life and all this, and ruin his reputation amongst medical people. Which I thought, that's not Sherlock Holmes at all, even though it was fascinating to watch. it's unusual for Sherlock Holmes to sit there and suddenly say to do that. He would be more like, well, people lose their homes all the time, and like that happens every day. And as legal matters go, it's it's nothing. Can't really blame. Can't really take the house away from him. It was in his will. The guy that died, his will. And it was him. He went to the opium den. He caught the disease, and he died. Okay, let's take a look at this.
Good day. Please excuse us. Oh, Grant, is it you?
Yes, but wait a moment. Watson, it's been years. Since the Faculty of Medicine, if my memory serves me right.
Yes, we were young and ambitious. I didn't expect to find you here. I thought you had gone to America.
No. I find that I prefer the filth here, amputating gangrenous legs.
Ah.
I'm joking, Watson. Unfortunately, I was unable to leave for Washington. I had to give up surgery. So instead, I crouched down in this rat hole, rubbing shoulders with the world's misery.
Grant, treating those in need is a noble calling. You underestimate the importance of your work.
If you say so. It's true that in the beginning I felt as you do, but as time goes by, the more this cursed area seems like hell. You think that nothing can get worse, and the next day you see that it can. Now famine has hit these poor wretches.
One can't always do as one might prefer when one is a doctor.
Grant, I'd like to introduce you to Sherlock Holmes.
Pleased to meet you. Well, no one comes here by chance, therefore I imagine that you need something in particular. How can I help you?
Okay. Let's go for
Dr.
the scalpel.
Grant, we are in possession of a scalpel which was found in an unusual location. Does it come from your dispensary, as we believe?
From its mark, I'd say it was stolen from us. A lot of things disappear from here, you understand. Life is hard in Whitechapel. When the staff find a way of adding to their salary, they rarely hesitate to do so.
Thank you, Doctor. Farewell, Doctor.
See you soon, perhaps. And take care of yourself.
Do I have to... Maybe I could show him the... I guess not. Okay. See what Watson has to
I
say.
suggested we go to the cemetery next to the public dispensary.
Okay. So I'm going to walk around here for a second first.
This stove is hardly working. That would explain the damp around here.
Incredible. My colleague could at least keep a good fire going for his patients.
That's assuming he has coal for the fireplace. Anyway, as I was saying,
Like all the sick lying here, this person is very quiet.
Not surprising, Holmes, this person is too weak. She's obviously suffering from malnutrition, and for more than a few weeks now.
So, normally, in a story like that, normally in a Sherlock Holmes story, there's generally some kind of mystery involved.
Like all the sick lying here, this person is very quiet.
Not surprising, Holmes, this...
Okay. Yep. Now, I mean, that doesn't mean that there's never been stories where Sherlock Holmes knows who the killer is, but then you're trying to find out, like, maybe a person is suspected, but suddenly, like the person who died was in a locked room, and nobody was around, and this type of thing, and, you're trying to figure out how it sort of happened and everything. But in this case, Sherlock Holmes turns around and so he pretends that he's sick too, from the same disease that he's been going to the places. He's from the same disease. He's got the same disease. And then he turns around and he gets the guy to come to his place. Gets the guy to come to Baker Street where they live, and oh, she looked at us, really. That's interesting. And the guy basically comes there, looks around the room. Sherlock Holmes pretends that he's sick, and that he had called him because he was the foremost authority. Now, it's sort of weird that you would assume, okay, this guy is a foremost authority on this disease. The cousin suddenly dies of this disease, and the will is, everything is left to him in the will, right? So you're like, okay, well, that seems a little suspicious. Everything points to this guy. Normally in a story sort of like that.
Even here, decidedly the poor people have been abandoned to their fate.
Whitechapel Street. Let's look at that.
Closed.
Even here.
Closed.
Even here.
Stop.
Decided.
Okay, there we go.
Whitechapel Street. We are in one of the main areas in the district.
Okay, so generally it would be something. I don't mean to say there's always some kind of weird surprise, sort of some trick going on, but in the stories. But generally, let's talk to this woman.
Buy my flowers, my lord, for your dear departed.
Okay. I'll give her a few shillings here for her.
I suggested we go to the cemetery next to the public dispensary.
Okay. Well, I thought maybe this lady had
Buy
something.
my flowers, my lord.
I guess we're not going to buy anything, huh? Okay.
I suggested we go...
Yes, I'm trying to... There we go. Hold on a second here.
This cemetery is the very image of Whitechapel. Sinister, frightening, and ill-kept. What a terrible place for one's final rest.
At least hunger no longer gnaws at them.
Now, like I was saying, it was everything pointed to this guy, this cousin, very easily and very, stupidly easily. And generally, it would be like, it would turn out to like not be him and something else, or whatever. But no, it was him. He comes there and confesses to doing a crime in front of Sherlock Holmes, who's pretending to be sick. He doesn't check and see if he's sick, see if he's really got the disease or anything. And in the guise of supposedly not coming, he doesn't want to come too close to Sherlock Holmes because he doesn't want to catch the disease, of course. So, what's this note? Leaflet. Distribution for 19th September. Through the generosity of Prince Woodville, a new distribution of soup is being arranged within the Whitechapel area. This voucher is valid for a meal on 19th of September in any distribution area. Kurtz, don't forget to pick up the tools at the cemetery and don't be late this time. Grape, ape. Okay. I don't know what that means, but okay.
A leaflet for the soup kitchen. This leaflet is dated for the day after tomorrow. The tickets for the soup kitchen are given out on the same day. Only somebody who works there could have written on it.
Okay. But, the guy suddenly is, Oh, by the way, Watson is hiding behind a
This
curtain.
shovel belongs to the cemetery workers.
So we taking in or what? Okay, so Watson's hiding behind the curtain. Here's everything. Here's the entire confession. And it's straight
Let
up
us
the
see
guy.
if the elements analyzed in Baker Street and this cemetery have something in common.
Oh, there's that. Compare the evidence from the crime scene with the evidence from the graveyard. Let's take a look.
This rope is only worn on one side.
Yes. What about this? This looks like it too.
This rope is only worn on one side. The rope used to tie up the Bishop of Knightsbridge came from this cemetery. It is only worn on the one side because it is used to lower coffins into graves.
I agree. So, but it turns out the guy, yes, the guy did do it. The guy who was pointed towards a cousin, who's, everything was
Closed.
Can we sneak our way in there somehow?
Closed.
Have any keys or tools? Maybe we could use a knife on it?
Impossible to open it.
Well, hold Okay, okay. But, generally, Sherlock Holmes doesn't work that way. Like, the stories don't work that way usually. It would have been, I was reading a comment on it, and I thought it was very correct that the story started with the wife coming to Sherlock Holmes and telling him about it, and then everything points to the guy, and it turns out to be the guy, you know. And they just trick him into, he's amusingly badly confesses to the entire crime.
Let us see if the elements analyzed in Baker Street and this cemetery have something in common.
Mm-hmm. Dirt.
Black and damp earth.
Yes.
Earth freshly turned over, still damp. This dark, damp earth is the same type as that which was found at the Bishop of Knightsbridge's home.
It came from a grave, then. What a lovely thought.
From the boots of somebody who was walking around in the grave. But, you would think in a Sherlock Holmes story, generally in a Sherlock Holmes story, it would be something like, the cousin would have shown up and said something like, you know, I'm being accused of this crime and everything points to me, but I swear I haven't done it.
Let us see if the elements analyzed in Baker Street and this cemetery have something in common.
Now we're looking at the stone.
Granite.
Okay, that's exactly granite.
These stones are of the same granite.
As a matter of fact, that looks like it fits right in that plus spot.
These stones are of the same granite. Granite. Black paint. These stones are of the same granite. The same black paint covers these stones. This black painted stone is identical to the fragments found in the rope which we analyzed at Baker Street and in the footprints of the Bishop of Knightsbridge's murderers. Everything coincides, Watson. The fragments of granite at the bishop's home came from the tombstones of this cemetery.
As well as the rope that was used to restrain the poor man. One of those used to lower the coffins.
I can think of only two reasons why anyone should happen to spend a great deal of time in a cemetery. Either he is at rest here, or he works here.
Yeah.
At least one of the bishop's murderers is employed here.
A shame. If he was at rest here, it would have made our job easier.
Now what?
Let's look for a mobile soup kitchen, Holmes.
Oh, okay, we'll go to the soup kitchen. All right. Anyway, normally you would think that a Sherlock Holmes story would start with a cousin saying, you know, like, I know it looks like it's me, but it's not me, and it would turn out to be like someone was suggesting that like maybe the wife killed off, would have it could have been that the wife would have killed off the husband purposely. And you think like, well, why? If she already owns a house and whatnot. Say if the will was she didn't know about the will. She assumed the will was to her, but then this looks like a soup kitchen, doesn't it?
Holmes, the man from the soup kitchen isn't only in voluntary service. Look.
A money game.
Money game? What?
A circulating soup kitchen.
Alright, let's talk to this guy. But you would imagine the guy would say he was like maybe the wife killed off the husband. Why? Because she didn't want him bankrupting them, spending all the money on his habit. Yeah, and she was afraid he was gonna like lose the house and all that money and everything, so she wanted to get rid of him. That type of thing.
Oi, oi! We're giving out free soup after Mass, right here. Don't hesitate. Come get yours. All thanks to Prince Woodville's kind generosity. A ticket for a hot bowl of bacon soup.
Excuse me, my good fellow.
You don't look like the needy.
We're not here for the soup, we're merely passing through. But I would like to commend you for your good charity.
Ah, it's the Prince of Woodville who's the charitable one. All I'm doing is filling the bowls. For the first time ever in this area, someone's thinking of the poor people here. Look around you. At every street corner, you'll find someone giving out soup, just like me. I grew up here, and I can promise you, it's the first time the toffs have thought about us.
And no one tries to take advantage of this?
No, mister, that's not possible. You have to exchange a ticket against a bowl. The tickets have the day's date on them, and are handed out after Mass. That way no one can cheat.
Yeah, okay. What's the grape ape?
A bowl of good bacon soup isn't for you, gentlemen.
We're looking for two people called Grape Ape and Kurtz. Do you know them?
Can't you see I'm giving out soup?
He wants us about the money you have.
You again. You can't have any soup, you're too rich. It's for the poor, not the toffs.
And what would you say to relieving two toffs of their wallets by giving them a chance at dice?
With great pleasure. What do you want to bet?
Your ring against my friend's superb silver watch.
What?
Holmes! I inherited this watch from my brother. It has a great sentimental value.
Watson, show your watch to our friend here.
Done. Make yourselves at home. All right, mister. First who gets 36 points wins.
By rolling a die, you must reach 36 points in order to win. If your die shows the skull... No, what was that? If your die shows the skull, all your points for the move are lost. Okay. How do I play? What do I do? Okay, I guess I just roll. 3. 3. 5. Let's roll once more. 4. Let's store those points. I guess. Oh, it's... Oh, thank God. He lost immediately. Okay. Oh, okay. 2. Just means I'm giving the guy his turn to... Let's try one more. Okay, let's store those. There's no way this guy's gonna go with all 36 points. But I'll get my 6 points the next time. Okay. 3. That's it.
Perfect.
Aren't you going to leave me alone? Can't you see I'm busy?
Alright, we win.
We win.
Hey, not so fast. We'll play again.
Out of the question. You have lost. You owe me your ring.
Oh, it means a lot to me, this ring. Me dad gave it me before he died. He choked on his own glass eye. Me mum didn't get over the shock of it, and she killed herself by smashing her head open with a wooden leg. And she'd only just heard that me sister, who's a prostitute, had caught an embarrassing disease that made all her hair fall out. And worse, our dog got run over when he...
As this ring holds such sentimental value for you, I will allow you to keep it. What would you say to exchanging that against some information about Grape Ape? That seems like a fair deal, don't you think?
Yeah. Grape Ape works with us. He usually deals with the tickets, but we haven't seen him for a few days.
Where is he usually to be found?
Well, last time I saw him, he was with his mates from the dispensary, them that deal with the morgue. Now, that's all I know.
It is quite good enough. Keep your ring, my good man, as a souvenir of your poor father.
A souvenir of me dad, me mum, me sister, and me dog.
One further thing. You said that Grape Ape's friends work at the morgue. Which morgue?
The morgue at the dispensary. I must say, they got a funny job. They wash the dead, dress them, cut their hair, they clean the blood off the floor, chase the rats, stamp on the cockroaches. Mister, I can tell you, I prefer giving out soup.
There isn't a certain Kurtz amongst the employees.
Listen, we didn't play for info about the whole city. I'm not telling you anything else.
The dispensary has got its own morgue. Interesting.
Well, yeah, I've just told you so. It's the one that all the undertakers prefer. Think about it. It's just next to the cemetery.
Thank you, my good man.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye, mister.
Apparently, we're headed to the morgue.
Let's go to the public dispensary.
At the dispensary. You just came from the dispensary, so. Now, we're hitting on 45 minutes, so I'll stop here. Anyway, I was just saying that the story seemed a little weird. It was, it should have been a little different. I ended up looking it up, and apparently it wasn't a normal Sherlock Holmes story. That's all. But I guess apparently the guy who was playing Sherlock Holmes was actually very sick at the time, so maybe that might have had something to do with it. He actually died about a year later, I believe. Jeremy Brett, that is. So, okay, hopefully I'm going to continue on, so I'm just going to end the file here. It's about 45 minutes, so, and I'll head on to the, just keep going and head on to the next, we'll go into the dispensary and see what's going on. So, I hope you join me again. Please join me next time, and we'll continue on. Thank you. This is Bunnysays. Bye for now.